Fake news reporters regret asking their dumb questions after they get shut down by the intellect and preparedness of Karoline Leavitt. Guys, this could be a good clip. I think you're going to like it. As I'm sure many of you know, Donald Trump and Elon Musk have been hard at work with their new Doge section of the U.S. government that is working on exposing and rooting out and cutting out government waste. You have a lot of other stuff going on too. You have, changes being made to the press media brief rooms, and they are not happy about it. So we're gonna get right into it, folks. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But first, do me a big favor here. Like our video and share it around so we can keep bringing you guys this great, hard-hitting content. As always, Patriots, I'm your host, Darian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
I have a thing for you. Which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus. Many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
Caitlin Collins is a professional huckster, and frankly, I don't know why she isn't banned from the media press briefing room right now. She's just a pain. Do you guys remember when she had a town hall with Donald Trump about a year or two ago, and she just going off, complaining to him about January 6th and the classified documents, that phony prosecution, saying, why didn't you do this? Why did you do that? She kept interrupting him. Then Trump just had enough and said, "You are a nasty person." Great moment, by the way. It's kind of a throwback to the old Trump. I love it when he puts these ridiculous reporters in their place. They are just so insufferable.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
First Amendment. She sounds like Jim Acosta, female Jim Acosta here. That's who they replaced him with. It's the chick version. Ugh.
That you were just talking about.
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification name server, and Apple has recognized that, Google has recognized that, pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America, and it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world.
I have a theory. I don't think they want to call it the Gulf of America because they're more in favor of foreign countries over that of the United States. I mean, these leftists make it clear all the time they don't like the United States of America. They support illegal immigration, which suggests they don't have no loyalty to their own citizens. They're really just bad people, frankly. There's no other way of putting it. And AP is very left-wing and progressive. Did you know that as a policy, they will lowercase the word white, as in the skin color, and then uppercase black? Yeah, I'm not even kidding. That is essentially modifying our language in gross ways to perpetuate racism against white people. It's really a nasty thing. And they even explain why they do it. They have a whole little explainer section in which they say, well, at the end of the day, black people have culture and white people really don't. And that's why we capitalize black people and lowercase white. They're basically saying blacks are better and more important than whites. The same people who complain about racism all the time, how terrible it is. It's gross. Now, it's safe to say Leavitt smoked that reporter. Let's watch another example of just that very thing, albeit with a different question.
In the Oval yesterday gave us some information on that. We're just wondering if there's some proof, evidence. Is the White House willing to share evidence of those fraud claims, or can Elon Musk come to the briefing room and share material evidence of what he's talking about?
Sure, I would love for Elon Musk to come to the briefing room. That's why we had him go to the Oval Office yesterday, where I think he provided great answers. He was speaking in layman's terms, speaking common sense to all of you in the media, but also to Americans at home. But I would say especially to all of you in the media, because I think it's a real fallacy that there's this alleged lack of transparency when it comes to Doge. President Trump and Elon Musk have been incredibly transparent on what Doge is doing. doing. There is an X account with the Doge handle. They are tweeting out what they are doing on a daily basis. They have a website where they are posting the receipts of the contracts that they are reviewing and the payments that they have stopped from going out the door. The secretaries of our departments have stopped from going out the door. And I would also say that before it was Elon Musk making our government efficient and accountable, it was some unnamed bureaucrat that none of you knew. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. He's also now one of the most highly scrutinized men in the world alongside President Trump because of what he's doing and the access that he is allowing. So there's great transparency.
The Trump administration is obviously the most transparent administration in at least my lifetime. It goes without saying. Now, what I find really interesting is that the media, the fake media, as I like to call them, is never going to ask similar questions of Joe Biden, or rather they did not, and they never will for any future Democrat administrations if we have them, God forbid. And it's funny because I'm sure you guys remember this. The Biden admin was paying for taxpayer-funded flights of illegal immigrants around the country in secret. I mean, really gross stuff. And then eventually they kind of stopped making it a secret, just did it out in the open because they just stopped caring. You know, I, as an American citizen, I remember I'd have to show my ID, but I'd see illegal immigrants flying and they have no ID and it's perfectly okay. Really crazy, honestly.
As for the actual receipts, we are happy to provide them, and I actually brought some today because all of you know I love to bring the receipts. We have contracts upon contracts that we can send and provide this information to you. Let me be very clear. We are not trying to hide anything. We have been incredibly transparent and we will continue to be. These are screenshots of contracts that Doge found across our government. This is a DEI contract, $36,000 for U.S. citizenship and immigration services. That is against the president's policies and his America First agenda. This is a $3.4 million contract, a Council for Inclusive Innovation at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Department of Commerce, another DEI contract that Doge identified. I can continue to go through these. Oh, I love this one. $57,000 for climate change in Sri Lanka. What is this doing to continue the interests of the American people? Absolutely nothing. These are the line items across the federal government that Doge is identifying daily. They're moving very fast. There's a lot of paper that we can show you, but we're happy to do it. This administration has been more than transparent about what Doge is doing. And here's one of their tweets that they posted about the mine. I believe this is in Pennsylvania, where the federal employee retirement system is being processed. Did anybody know this was even happening in our country before Elon Musk talked about it in the Oval Office yesterday? A lot of Americans didn't. So we are providing transparency and accessibility on a daily basis when it comes to Doge.
Yeah, and do not forget that they were doing transgender comics in Peru. It sounds like I'm making it up. It sounds like it's a parody of the left, but no, that is what they are. They are beyond parody, and it is nuts. With all that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. As always, please be sure to comment below, and if you like the video, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you all again soon. God bless.